Saturday?
Yeah. Let's get into that real quick, BJ.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Stipe's fighting Jon Jones, the
Yeah.
greatest, heavyweight of all time, fighting the greatest fighter of all time. I mean, that's what Dana says almost every week still, right?
I kind of agree with him. John's a dangerous guy. I would not. That's one man I would not want to be, in a backroom alley with is Jon Jones. Jon Jones is a dangerous guy, and it's going to be a great fight. Stipe is very, very big. We saw, when Jake fought Tyron Woodley in August 2021, I believe. We were in Ohio for a couple weeks, got to meet Stipe, trained at his gym. Great guy, big, strong, obviously got a lot of experience, but Jon Jones to me is just, he's nasty. Yeah. I think it's going to be a tough fight for Stipe, especially at his age and coming back later, trying to come back after he's been off for a while. Jones is nasty. Yeah,
it's a lot of questions being answered because Jones has been out of it for a while too, and only fought at heavyweight for like 2 minutes or something like that when he choked out Gane. So it's going to be a good fight for sure.
His fight with what's his name, the guy who he got out of there, he got him down.
Gane.
Yeah, Gane.
Gane.
I love Gane. I thought Gane was great, and then Jon just took him apart so quick. And that's the interesting part about that MMA sport. Like, you can be so good in one aspect, and Gane was. I thought he was good, standing up, kicking, striking. I was so impressed with him. I forget the fight he had, but I was like, man. Jon's, who was it? Oh yeah, he looked incredible against Derek Lewis. And one other fight too, he looked so good. And it's just like MMA is such an interesting sport because a guy can be so good at something and the other guy can just take it away like Jon Jones did. And you got to give him credit. It was just a great performance.
Yeah, definitely, man. It's going to be a good fight. It's a good weekend of fights, obviously.
Yeah.
Saturday or Friday,
right? Riyadh season 2 coming up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we got my boy Zordo Ramirez against Chris Billum-Smith. Malik
fight.
Scott's training Zordo, and Zordo's a handful of cruiserweight. I'm looking forward to seeing this. Chris Billum-Smith beat Lawrence Okoli. That was a hell of a win for him. Nobody thought he was going to win that fight, so I'm looking forward to watching that. Then obviously we got JP and Mike Tyson. We got a nice undercard. Abel Ramos and Mario Barrios. Katie and Amanda Serrano. Obviously, that's going to be a great fight too. I'm looking forward to it. The most talked about fight in women's boxing history. So it's a lot of good action coming on this weekend, and I'm excited.
BJ, what'd you see with Mike and his shadow boxing out there? Obviously, his stomach is, the abs are back at 58. You know what I mean? What did you see from Mike?
He looked a little scary to me. I mean, I see him doing all these little, and I'm like, man, those that kind of looks like the old Mike a little bit to me. So I feel like Mike really took this serious. I feel like Mike has had about a year and a half to get ready for this, and Keith has been talking about this fight for a long time. It didn't happen exactly when they wanted it to, but that actually plays into Mike's advantage. It gave him a chance to really cleanse his body and get back into fighting condition, and I think that's what he's done.
What do you think about Mike saying that Jake is a manufactured killer and that he's like a natural born? Mike
he's got a point. Jake didn't start boxing until Jake was 21. Jake was doing other things before that. Mike's always been kind of that young kid, 12, 13, 14, 15, training to fight, training to destroy, to hurt people. So he's kind of got a point, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to win the fight Friday.
Right. Well, who is training Jake? Because I didn't see Shane there. Obviously, you're not there.
Yeah.
I know the guy was holding the pads, but I don't know. I haven't seen. I don't know who's like the head trainer.
Yeah, that's third. And what third does is, what's up, Wade? How you doing, brother?
I mean, interrupt, man.
Yeah, he's doing a good job with Jake. He's, he was part of the Kronk team for a long time. He was a good amateur fighter, and he's got some good pros now. And he's teaching Jake a lot of good fundamentals. Him and Larry and Jay Leon, and they seem like they got Jake in a real good rhythm. So, like I said, Jake's fight with Mike Peary, Jake's fight with Andre August and Ryan Borland, I don't really count those too much. But the fight with Mike Peary, Jake's got some power and Jake's very dangerous, and I feel like they're doing a good job with him. The question is going to be how Jake adapts at 200 to 225. That's going to be the question. Because in professional boxing, it's hard to go up 3 or 4 or 5 pounds, much less 25. So we'll see how he responds, but we'll see what kind of adjustments he made in camp.
It's 8 2-minute rounds.
Yeah.
Jake's been fighting obviously more recently than Mike, so maybe this idea of boxing Mike seems feasible, right? But I mean, Mike, you saw him; he's like a house, right? And I feel like he just can put shots on Jake's shoulders, on his arms, and it's gonna start taking effect right away.
The thing about it is you got to take this into consideration. Over 9 minutes in a 3-round fight, you have 2 rests. Over 9 minutes in a 2-minute round fight, you have 4.5 rests. It's a lot more rest for Mike, so Mike's not going to wear down as fast with the 2-minute rounds. I think it's a big advantage for Mike. And like I said, I mean, if you can go 2 minutes and sit down for a minute, 2 and sit, it's going to make the fight a lot more interesting. So I think it's different than how I would have drawn it up, but looking at it, I mean, I think, it's going to make the fight interesting. I think Mike's going to be coming hard in the first 3 or 4 rounds. If you look at what he did with Roy, he was putting it on Roy, and then he didn't seem like he was emptying the gas tank. And I think with Jake, he's really going to try to get him out of there.
Right, I was going to say, I felt like the lead up to the Roy fight, there was a lot of respect. He liked Roy, you know what I mean? It was kind of like, all right, let's get in there and mix it up. Yeah. Kind of on the same level, kind of older dudes, whatever.
With Jake, though, he wants to prove something.
Right.
He said, I heard an interview me and Zach were listening to, and he's like, you know what, like, on Friday night when my kids watching me fight, they're going to know that's why I was special. Like he's got his kids. I mean, I think Mike's got a big chip on his shoulder. He's coming out, so I think it's going to be very interesting. Jake's got to be careful early. I've told him that all throughout camp. Like, do not try to engage with this man. Do not try to wrestle him in the inside. Do not try to test your power in there. Just let him die down a little bit, and then we'll take him to the deep waters.
Who do you think? Being like a boxing guy, old school boxing guy. I mean, obviously, but you work with Jake. I mean, are you kind of like torn, or are you just maybe a little more Jake, or I don't know, where's your heart at?
I'm a lot more Jake. I want Jake. Jake's my brother. I want Jake to win. But with that being said, I mean, all the respect to Mike in the world. Like, Mike's a legend. We all grew up watching Mike. We love Mike. Everything Mike says is everything that what it is to be a man, and he's just so profound and so deep, and he's gotten so spiritual and really tried to like make himself better. And as a person, as a normal person, you got to respect that. So I love Mike.
Yeah, it's going to be great, man. It's going to be great. BJ, it's good to see you, but it's good to see you're okay.
Appreciate it.
I know there's a lot of, the issues that happen in Colombia we talked about.
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good, yeah.
Thank God,
healed,
brother.
I'm recovered, I'm working out, I'm lifting weights, everything's good, so I'm happy to be alive.
God bless, brother. God bless. Good seeing you, man.